Today is June 29th, and it's a Sunday today. It's a little drawing I did. I have a message to share, and we're going to start in Matthew 18 today. Matthew 18, verse 20. And he said to them, "Because of the littleness of your faith, for truly I say to you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move, and nothing will be impossible to you." Now the context for verse 20, faith the size of a mustard seed. True faith by Christ's definition always involves surrender to the will of God. Where can you look at in your life right now that you have complete surrender or trust or faith? Would you be able to say that you have surrender financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually? What God was teaching here is nothing like positive thinking psychology. He was saying that both the source and the object of all genuine faith, even the weak mustard seed variety, is God, and nothing will be impossible with God. Nothing will be impossible with God. Here Christ assumes the qualifying thought that is explicitly added: what we ask for must be according to His will. Right now, there could be a lot of tasks ahead of you. There could be mountains that need to be moved. And personally, in my life, there's mountains that needs to be moved. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish financially. There's a lot of goals that I want to accomplish physically. And there's a lot that I need to work on emotionally. And one of the characteristics that I want to lean more into to be like Jesus is patience. And I think patience is applicable across the board. Patience is necessary for finances. It's necessary for, going to the gym. You have to be patient. You can't get gains overnight. You can't have the body that you want overnight. You can't have the strength that you want overnight. It's a repetition. Time after time, morning after morning if you're a morning person, night after night if you're a night person. It is the repetition of belief. And what follows the repetition of belief? You start to move mountains. Because as you set those goals in the gym, as you set those goals financially, the more repetition of faith that you carry to move those mountains, the more the seed is planted and the more the roots are watered. And even if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible with God by your side. And that leads me to go to Matthew 18, verse 3 through 5. "Truly I say to you, unless you are converted and become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever then humbles himself as this child, he is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. Whoever receives one such child." This speaks not of literal children, but children in the sense described of those who have humbled themselves like children, true believers. To be a child and to carry childlike faith, it is the activity of humility across the board. It's easy in this world to get carried away. With whatever it is that's in front of you. It's easy to get carried away about your pride in your finances or your pride in your physical attributes. But pride is not of the characteristics of Jesus Christ. Therefore, humble yourself. Genuinely, wholeheartedly humble yourself where you are at today, right now, and take a step back and don't assume that you have it all figured out, because tomorrow, not once in this word right here, tomorrow is not promised a single day. So how could we go about knowing that tomorrow isn't promised? Childlike faith. Humble yourself. And whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a heavy millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe to the world because of its stumbling blocks, for it's inevitable that stumbling blocks come, but woe to that man through whom stumbling block comes. If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it from you. It is better for you to enter life crippled or lame than to have 2 hands or 2 feet and be cast in eternal fire. If your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it from you. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be cast in the fiery hell. See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that their angels in heaven continually see the face of my Father who is in heaven. For the Son of Man has come to save that which was lost. What do you think? If any man has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go and search for the one that is straying? If it turns out that he finds it, truly I say to you, he rejoices over it more than over the 99 which have not gone astray. So it is not the will of your Father who is in heaven that one of these little ones perish. We are that sheep. More often than not, we are the one sheep that is astray from the shepherd above. And it's easy to go astray. It's easy to be in this life and to walk far from patience, to walk in impatience. And often when you're astray, you don't know you're astray until your ship goes down. I like to think that I am the master of my seas. However, Jesus is the one that stepped on water and walked on water. I am no master of my sea. I am but merely a passenger. But there is a shepherd that would leave the 99 for me at any given time. And I like to think of the picture of like Jesus reaching out. He's always reaching out. Not once has his hand not been there for me to grab a hold of and for me to reach for him. However, I have been the sheep that has gone astray. And in doing so, going astray has led me to have debt, to not be where I want to be at in school, to not be where I want to be at with my career, to not be where I want to be at in relationships with family members and or friends and or a genuine relationship. And being a father and having a wife and kids is something that I want. It's something I desire. And I know God hears the desires of my heart. However, I don't believe that he's just going to hand me these things. I believe he's going to hand me the times to build the patience and character for these things. And the part in which you go astray, assess your character. Assess your character. Has your character been in line with Jesus, or has it been in line with the world? And you know, that's difficult to figure out. Is your character in line with the world, or is it in line with Jesus? And you know, asking that, it could be received as black or white. However, it's almost kind of gray, because you don't really know. The only way that you do know if your character is in line with Jesus, is this word right here. And I do believe that God is with you. God is with me. Right where I'm at. Right where I'm at. Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light and light for darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. The context: evil good and good evil. The fourth woe condemned the reversal of morality which dominated the Hatron. They utterly confused all moral distinctions. And I think a lot of times in this world where we're at, you see all these young kids making all this money and doing all these lavish things, almost like a bunch of debonaires. They don't really care how they get there, or really anybody else. I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of people help people. However, the morality in which they're doing so, the line is kind of blurred. Evil good and good evil. Which one is it? And it's almost like the world is in this gray area. And you have to decide, as you're that sheep being herded by a shepherd, which shepherd are you following? Because you have two options. And unfortunately, it is black and white. You have two options. You have the world, and you have Jesus. You have evil good and good evil. The reversal of morality. So you could decide the world. And if you're on the fence, and here's the other thing. If you're on the fence and you are assuming that your character is just good by your morals, it's not enough. The morals in which you think you hold that think are good, if they are not in line with the fruits of the Spirit, it says here in Isaiah 5:20, they utterly confused all moral distinctions. Morally, where your heart may lie, I pray and I hope that it lie with Jesus' character. Because at the end of the day, above all else, Jesus' character is the compass, the moral compass for which you should lean into for your life. Because the more you surrender to Jesus' character, the more you will be blessed and utterly favored. So I just pray right now, wherever you're at, that you take a step back from where you are in life and you assess your character. You assess your morals. You assess your time. Because time is the most valuable and precious gift that we all have under the sun. It's the most valuable and precious gift that God could have ever given us is time. And it's ever passing, and it's ever changing. So may you spend your time in wisdom and leaning into Jesus' character. Be blessed.